Hello there. What's going on, everybody? We just had a big stream from FFG. I'm going to give you the recap of it. We're going to talk a little bit about everything, kind of give you the gist of what you need to know for Legion, X-Wing, and Armada. And I'm probably going to break these down in a little bit better coverage as as the week goes on. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of something immediately so that you can know basically what all the big news is. Also, want to shout out to Luxury Playstyle. If you are in the market for tokens, I know there's a big stimulus coming right now, and if you got extra money and you want the best tokens on the market, I use them for both X-Wing and Legion. Check out luxuryplaystyle.com. You can use code Crabbok VIP to save 15%. They're double-sided, they're full metal, they're gorgeous, they come in a variety of finishes. They're fantastic. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and talk about this. So they covered all three miniatures games today. I'm going to let you guys know right away, Armada got very, very, very little. Armada just got a little tease that there's more coming. So, all right, they did tell us, my prediction was dead on Legion. They're talking about Clan Ren, Inferno Squad, the STAP, and the ATRT. So, there you go. But it's nice to have all that stuff confirmed. Basically, we did get a look at Clan Ren. We're going to talk about them first. It is 7 miniatures. It's going to... we got this. Oh, my gosh, this Duelist. All right. Very, very cool. So we're going to have actually 2 ways to run this unit. It can be run as a generic unit, or it can be run as Clan Ren, the unique unit. And so they want to give you options to be able to run them multiple different ways. They gave us a little preview of the best Cad Duelist here. A melee-specific weapon on this particular heavy. And it can only go in the Mandalorian Resistance unit. That's what the unit is going to be called. It's going to be called Mandalorian Resistance. There's going to be a second Mandalorian Resistance, kind of like how your strike teams for your original commandos and stuff like that. They are going to... for the unique one, it's going to be Mandalorian Resistance, and then in the subs text will be unique. It'll say Clan Ren. That's kind of how that's going to work. So that much is cool. Let's see what else we got. They give us some, we got a little bit of the looks of the sculpts. They're doing a lot more on the sculpts with this wave to give you a good idea of how you can build them out. So for you Mandalorian lovers, this is going to be awesome. There's going to be so many ways to paint these. I would definitely suggest try and get some of these pre-ordered before they ship, because I have a feeling they will sell out just for the love of Mandalorians. Inferno Squad. Another 7 miniature unit, which is very, very cool. You can run it the same way. You can run it as unique or as a generic. The generic unit is going to be called Imperial Special Forces, which is going to cause some confusion a little bit later, and we'll talk about that. But you can also run it as Inferno Squad. They did specify as Inferno Squad, it's going to be Del Miko, Gideon Hask, and Sane Marana. With both of these units, with Clan Ren and Inferno Squad, they're going to have synergies with their respective familiar persons. So Iden Versio is going to have synergy with Inferno Squad. We didn't get a look at the unit cards. We'll find out more as time goes on. And then Sabine's going to have synergy with Clan Ren. We'll have to see how that works. And the helmeted character in the middle there is Sane Marana. She was from the book. You do not see her in Battlefront 2, however. And then there's some generic special forces. So I guess the idea is they've recruited more at some point. Okay, go figure. That's fine. But we did a really good look at Del Miko. I like what they're doing here because here's somebody that's kind of got the 5s and Echo kind of treatment that he can go in multiple things. He's a heavy weapon. He's got 2 health. And he's got a range 1 to 5 sniper, 2 black dice. He can go in any Imperial core unit as their heavy, which is cool, which means like he could go into snowtroopers, he could go into Scarif, he could go into a regular stormtrooper unit, whatever. Short troopers, Scarif. Or he can go into Imperial Special Forces. Now, the clarification here is he can't go into any Imperial Special Forces unit. He can go into quote unquote the Imperial Special Forces, which is basically Inferno Squad, the generic version of Inferno Squad. If they intended for him to go into Royal Guard or Death Troopers or something like that, or Scouts, it would have had that symbol, the Special Forces symbol. So the fact that they spelled out Imperial Special Forces means there's a unit card coming. That's what the generic version of Inferno Squad is going to be called, Imperial Special Forces. They also give you a kind of look at how you can put together some of these particular minis. We get a look at the ATRT. The ATRT For the Republic is going to be a little different. The price point is going to change, but it's got a better basic gun built into it. It does have that hard point. They did specify there'd be a flamethrower. The Rider's weapon is a little better. You got critical 1, impact 1. You lose surge to crit on offense, and that's because that faction has fire support. They talked about that. They didn't want you gaining surge to crit because then you'd always run ATR. Didn't want it to be like too OP. If you give guys with no surge all of a sudden surge to crit. AKA frag grenades. But yeah, so surge to hit they thought was good enough here, which is kind of cool. And it's got scout 1 and surge for defense. So a lot of different stuff, a little bit of different play style for this ATRT, and then of course different ways that you can build them. And there's some other different ways that you can build them. So that's pretty cool. We get the Staps. It turns out there's 2 minis in the Stap, and they are gonna be really fast and not super deadly. Critical 1 per weapon, and since there's 2 minis, if the unit's at full health, they're going to be having critical 2. They're going to get 6 black dice if there's 2 of them, 3 black dice per mini, which is nice. They got speeder 1, cover 1, AI move, agile 1, so they're going to get some. While they don't have surge for defense and they're only rolling white defense, they're going to die pretty quickly, but they're going to get a dodge, and they're also going to have cover 1 at least. So that's cool. They're speed 3, so you're gonna get that. It's gonna mirror a little bit of that speeder bike kind of play style, which it's pretty cool. And we got to look at the different ways that you can build them. And they drew special attention to the fact that if you look in the far left, there's one who's driving this thing and he's got his hand up like this. If you're gonna play these guys in a tournament, do not mod this guy to have the middle finger going up, because that could be seen as obscene, and wouldn't it really stink to get DQ'd because you've got something obscene on the board that they actually now can't stream or anything like that. All right, so if you're going to do that, just have it as an extra one. Be prepared to swap it out with a standard one. I just know everybody's going to want to do that, and like it's going to probably get old pretty quick. So don't do that, or do it. I mean, do whatever you want. I don't suggest doing it. Okay, now we're going to talk about X-Wing. We're going to talk about X-Wing. So we got Gideon Hask. So I kind of think it's like an Inferno Squad day for like every game. They said like every game gets it. But our light shuttle here is it really kind of, they start out just talking about the Wave 7 stuff that we already know. So, it was kind of started off on a little bit of a down because, we already know about this. This was supposed to be kind of shipping already, or coming out like any day now. So, but everything's pushed back till May. So we're not getting Wave 7 anytime soon. But they did spoil some cards from Wave 7. So, Gideon Hask is going to be Initiative 4. While you are a friendly small ship at range 0 to 2 performs a primary attack against the damaged defender. If the attacker rolled 2 or fewer attack dice, it may gain a strain token to roll an additional attack die. And he's got jam. He's got a red target lock, focus, and coordinate. They talked about Agent Terex. And a cool thing about Agent Terex is from the comic book. And he's going to have 3 calculate tokens, and at the start of the engagement phase, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 and remove a calculate token from this card to have that ship gain a matching token. Then, if there are no calculate tokens on this card, flip it. Then you flip him, and he becomes a cyborg. During the system phase, roll 1 attack die. On a hit or crit result, gain a calculate token. Otherwise, gain a jam token. Arrgh! Agent Terex, use cyborg. And as an action, you can transfer a calculate token or a jam token to a ship at range 0 to 3. So that's actually pretty playful playstyle on that guy. We do have the Lat Eye. Oh, and the Lat Eye is going to be so much fun. All right, so they only really showed us our 212th Battalion pilot here. We got to look at the ship card. It's got that double-sided 2 turret, 1 agility, 8 hull, 2 shields, 2 recurring charge for the fire convergence. While a friendly ship performs a non-turret attack if the defender is in your turret arc, you may spend a charge. If you do, the attacker re-rolls up to 2 attack dice, which is such a great support ship. Like, I love it. For this ability alone, I love it. It's great. And then if you got a pretty good amount of actions, you can rotate your turrets, you can reload, you can focus and target lock, and reinforce, which is pretty cool. And we got Ghost Company. Ghost Company looks sick. It's Republic. It's taking up 2 slots too. So like that's in their high demand slots there. And of course, it's going to give you the chained action into a red focus. After you perform a primary attack, if you're focused, you may perform a turret attack against a ship you have not attacked this round as a bonus attack. So for all you Armada players, this is like gunnery team for Armada. Oh man, I love it. And then we got our HMP gun ship, and we've got the Separatist Predator. And they're a 2-1-5-3. They got that big wide front arc. Calculate and target lock are white. It's got the reload as white into a red calculate or the red barrel roll. But they've got networked aim, which means you're not spending your aim or your target locks to reroll, but rather when you attack, for every friendly lock that's on them, you can reroll a die. So you might even be stressed and not even be able to target lock at all, but still get rerolls if everybody else is target locking. So that's a cool new ability. You've got Kalani here, who you might remember from the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. And Kalani is a Separatist solitaries. It's the new, the new droid command upgrades. I forget what the name of this upgrade is, but regardless, gives you calculate, and it has 3 recurring charge, which is interesting. And after an enemy ship executes the maneuver, if it's in a bullseye of a friendly ship at range 0 to 3, you spend a charge, and if you do, that friendly ship acquires a lock on that enemy ship. Then gain a stress token, or then gains a stress token. So you can have basically, and they talked about this in the stream, I guess in playtesting, like there were cases where this could be really abused, so that's why they had to put a limit of 3 on there, especially if you're going up against swarms. You're just, gaining like 8 or 7 target locks at once is just kind of nuts. So then they talk about what's next for X-Wing, and basically they told us we're getting Aces style packs. Aces-style squadron packs alongside new ships for Republic and Separatists. So we're getting, basically, it sounds like Wave 8 is going to have new Republic and Separatist ships, but they're going to have Aces packs for pre-existing ships, and they're going to have new paint jobs, they're going to have new pilots, and lots of new upgrades. They also did tease that the first one would be Resistance. So they're not, while they're showing you art, those are X-Wing 1.0 Aces packs. They're not doing a 1-for-1 reprint of those specifically, but they are using that style of stuff. So it'll be multiple ships in one pack. The first one they're going to do is Resistance. They did say that new X-Wing from Poe's new orange X-Wing from Episode 9 would be in there. So you're going to be getting a Resistance theme. It's just what we needed, more Resistance X-Wings. I don't really play Resistance, so that's not as big of a deal for me personally, but that's pretty cool. So now let's talk about Armada, because they didn't tell us anything. Really, nothing concrete. Just basically that more information is coming later this year. Now, everybody who was in the chat for stream on Twitch got really upset at this because, well, at least all the Armada players, the Legion and X-Wing players, didn't care, But I understand that, because if Armada is your only game, then you'd feel like you watched this whole live stream for nothing. And I feel like they probably shouldn't have said that this was going to be a stream talking about X-Wing, Legion, and Armada, because they didn't really talk about Armada. But they did tell us something. At least they mentioned it. They said they're basically not ready to give the full preview yet. But they previewed some of the upgrades and they said commanders and other cards and upgrades. And basically, they kind of talked a little bit about how the new factions in Armada are going to play very differently and have a unique flavor. And they teased us some of the art. And those are actually on the left. Those are those racks of droids that they drop during Episode 1 that come out of those big vehicles. So my guess is, obviously, they're confirming that Obi-Wan Kenobi will be a commander. And that obviously makes sense. That we're going to see new upgrades, new probably turbo laser or something like that. New types of offensive upgrades, turbo laser, ion, and ordnance for Armada that are going to change significantly how certain factions play, and especially since there's a clone gunner on there may be faction-specific turbo laser, ordnance, and ion cannon upgrades. And then with the droid thing, my guess is that you are going to be seeing more boarding team type abilities, so ships that want to get in close. And we do see if you watch the Clone Wars, you do see a lot of boarding happen during naval battles. So that is my big takeaway. All right, guys, that was a whole mouthful. I'm going to break this down probably in more detail in the next coming days. So I just wanted to get something quick out to you guys, and you can watch the whole stream again on Twitch. It'll also should be up on YouTube here shortly. All right, guys, that's all I've got. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I also want to thank my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and definitely help make this channel possible. If you guys do want to support the channel, there's links for Patreon as well as social media and also t-shirts, which also help. Is if you want to support the channel, there's lots of different ways to do it. Check the description below. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.